Well, hi everyone, and welcome to this session of ExecuNet Masterclass. I'm your host, Tony, and my guest this hour is the CEO of Kelleher Associates, Mr. Mitch Weineck. There's a right way and wrong way to look for a job while still gainfully employed, and today Mitch will tell you what you need to know to proactively prepare for your planned departure and how to conduct a successful search while tactfully shielding your search safe from your employer. Pretty eye-opening stuff, and part of our commitment here at ExecuNet to connect you with higher value thinking that can help you take your career wherever you want it to go next.
So moving along to mindset and starting with mindset, I believe that you really have to be decisive. In this situation, vacillation will defeat you. You really have to make up your mind that you want to do this. Just as you make up your mind that you want to launch a new product or you want to acquire a new company. You really have to decide, yes, I'm going to do this. And it's hard work. I think anybody who tells you differently is misleading you. Sometimes it requires extending your hours to early mornings, evenings, even weekends, until you secure your next role. And I know I'm talking to busy people who already have demanding jobs, and so with a few of your eyes may be rolling. But I think with discipline and, as I said, with commitment, you can make this happen. We've seen it happen again and again with our own clients. And when you do this, you really have to expect a level of rejection, but be resilient. You are going to experience really a number of no's on the way to yes. But if you go into that knowing that it's not really because of you, but because of a circumstance or the way a company is looking to fill a particular position, that you may get no's along the way to yes, and you expect that when that happens, it's going to be less disconcerting, less concerning. So next, preparation. I'm a strong believer, as you can see, in really needing to inform your family early in the process and to really talk about the fact that you intend to and often need to, in some cases, find a new position. And that family includes at least your spouse and your children, and maybe a few other family members, depending on how close-knit your family is. And I think you have to explain why in simple, convincing language. Describe what the process is likely to be, including the time commitment, because all of us only have finite time. So if you're devoting some off hours or even some weekend time to a job search, you're going to end up having to condense and compress some of the time you spend with your family, at least for the duration of the search. I think you have to be candid about the possibility of a geographic move if you're willing to make that. Some people decide they're not, but if you are open to it, you need to make sure your family is aware of that and how that might work in the short and the long term. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but you certainly need to be prepared to hear and respond and deal with a high level of emotional response, and probably more than once. You'll need to ask for and seek discretion and confidentiality, even from your loved ones, including your children. And you also will need to prepare for the situation. I could say likely. I'm not so sure it's likely all the time. But the situation when someone at work discovers or is informed that you're looking and you're questioned about it. And again, I'll talk more about that later very specifically.